the voice of the Jackets, Andy Demetra.
And a very good Thursday evening to you. Campus has been buzzing all week in anticipation of a whiteout showdown on the flats. This Saturday, your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets welcome in the number 12 Clemson Tigers to Bobby Dodd Stadium, a Hyundai Field, a chance to deliver another statement on a national stage. And we know all of college football will hear Jacket fans loud and clear come noon on Saturday. We have got a lot to talk about that matchup, plus the win over Gardner-Webb in the home opener last Saturday. And we will do so over the next 60 minutes on another edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai. My name is Andy Demetra, and once again, for a second straight year, we have brought the Brent Key Coaches Show back on campus. We started this last year in honor of the amazing turnout we have had from the Georgia Tech students. And the student group, the Greek group that had the highest attendance at our home games last year, were the brothers of Kappa Sigma. And so tonight, we are quite literally in the backyard of the Kappa Sig House here on the campus of the Georgia Institute of Technology. Find another coach in America who's willing to bring his radio show to the back patio of a fraternity. But that's what we've got over the next 60 minutes. Great turnout from the Georgia Tech students. We will duplicate that on Saturday. And without further ado, let's hear from the man himself, your head coach of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, Brent Key. Brent, good to see you as always. How are you?
What's up? I'm good, man.
How are
y'all doing?
You're in your element here at Kappa Sigma, and I know Kappa Sig holds a very fond place in your heart from your days at Georgia Tech.
I was supposed to say that.
I know. I'm just teeing you up.
So this is really means a lot to me now because, all right, 24 years ago was 9/11. Okay, all right, and I just finished playing. I was a GA, and everything happened that morning. Well, we're supposed to play Florida State that weekend, and they didn't cancel the game yet, so no one knew if we were going to play or not. A lot of the games have been canceled, most of them across the country, where the ACC had not canceled games yet, and it was a big game. It was two top 10 teams. We're both top 10 teams. Really big game going on. Well, it was Monday. We still had to go practice, and we come down to Rose Bowl down there, and in the past, we didn't have speakers, all that kind of stuff at practice. So the Kappa Sig House had huge speakers on the second floor on the front over there. It was another house, I believe. How old is this house?
It's a new house.
Well, I knew that. How old is it?
12 years.
Okay, cool, perfect. So the old house, they put speakers in the front corner over there. All right, and they would play music during practice. And our coach, Coach O'Leary, got so mad. He didn't want music or anything. Well, it's a very surreal moment then in 2001 when on 9/11, the city was evacuated. No one was in the city. Well, we had to come to practice, and we walked on the practice field, and those speakers cranked up, and it was patriotic music. It was every patriotic song you've ever heard of for 2 hours as we practiced, and all you heard was the patriotic music coming out of the Kappa Sig House and F-16s that had been scrambled around the city for protection. It was crazy, and I still remember. I get chill bumps right now thinking about it. Later on that night, they called and they canceled all the games for the next couple of weeks or whatnot. But just to remember that vivid memory, and then to be back here now 24 years later, and it seems like just yesterday. And to think about that, man, it's really surreal, and I appreciate y'all welcoming us here, and I hope you guys are all there on Saturday raising hell.
There you go. That's a wonderful story. And we all know Georgia Tech so poignantly commemorates September 11th with the 2,977 flags planted on Tech Green, and we're very cognizant of the fact that we have a lot of men and women protecting our freedom, giving us the opportunity to do something such as host a coach's radio show in the back of a fraternity. So we always extend our thanks to the men and women who keep us safe. Let's get to business, shall we? 59-12. You guys took care of business against Gardner-Webb in the home opener on Saturday. And I got to ask you, Brent, as laser focused as you always are before a game, when you came out of that locker room and through the tunnel onto Hyundai Field for the first time to look up to your right and see a packed student section, not only on the north side of the stadium, but on the south side of the stadium as well. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to your players to know that there is such a connectedness between your team and the students, and that they would be feeding you that energy all afternoon long versus Gardner-Webb?
Well, the great thing about it is we've become accustomed to it now. Something that started really 2 years ago, and it's nothing but exponentially grown every game. But for the players, it's a connection, because I want y'all to understand, like our guys, they go to I am hard on them. I'm going to class. I'm not saying they're the most perfect. I just saw someone walk up the street up there, but they do all the same things, and they put their time into football. And there's a connection that they have, and a respect they have for the students. For me personally, I am y'all. I mean, I've done the same things y'all do every day. All right, now I've probably messed up more of them up than y'all have, but those are lessons that I've learned that I tell to the players. But I can't explain how much it means for the student body to be in the stands. Right, the energy that we feed off of. The fact for the students to get there early. It's a 12 o'clock game. Okay, get there early. That means wake up earlier. Right?
Or don't go to sleep at all.
I started to say I didn't say go to bed early on Friday. I just said get up earlier. Get up early and get ready to roll and be in the stadium, because when that first kickoff happens, it's electric, and we need y'all. Look, this is a huge challenge for us. We need everybody to be a part of this, because at the end of the game, right, it's all of us that are involved in this. All right.
Last year, Georgia Tech was undefeated at home for the first time since your playing days in 1998, and we know that could not have happened without you guys in the student section keeping that energy high, and we look forward to hearing you guys again at noon on Saturday. You can certainly give us a little taste of what Clemson will hear on Saturday.
That means get loud.
There you go.
Let's go.
There you go.
Come on, man. I see three people back there didn't say a word. A black shirt right there, straight ahead. You didn't open your mouth.
Uh-oh.
Now, just you alone, get loud.
That'll work. We got some time to polish up on that.
Let's go!
That's more like it. That's a head coach megaphone right there. Don't even need one. You gave some news earlier today, and the ACC this year has mandated availability reports before every conference game, but you kind of jumped ahead of it and let everybody know that quarterback Haynes King will be available on Saturday after he was a game-time decision, was held out versus Gardner-Webb. However, Brent, you have also been steadfast in saying you have the deepest quarterback room in the country, and that was evident last Saturday because Aaron Fano rolls in. He tosses it around for 373 yards, helps Georgia Tech to 680 yards of offense. That was the third highest yards mark in school history, and rolled up a 59-12 win over Gardner-Webb. Couple of shaky first series, but how do you see Aaron settle down and become the Aaron Fano that you saw all offseason?
Yeah, and I really mean that when I say our quarterback room is deep. I think we have the best one in the country, and that was in full display last week. We're excited to have Haynes back. I know he's excited to play. Aaron's ready to roll. I mean, it's the depth of a football team is one of those things that you can't have enough of, and to have players that can come in and back guys up and be able to step in the role and get playing time and start. And that's what we're always trying to do, is we're trying to get more reps with guys on the field to get experience. Because what happens is guys play on Saturdays, whether it's 60 plays or it's 6 plays. Right? There's a renewed energy now when it comes to the next week of practice, and they say, oh shoot, I mean, there is something that we're practicing for, that we're working for, and especially when those guys get their first taste of action on a Saturday.
It was a gaudy day of offense, but we don't want to overlook the defense either. 6 sacks, 14 tackles for loss. That was the most TFLs in the game turned in by the Tech defense in 17 years. What pleased you most about their day?
Well, I mean, they were active. They got off of blocks. They finished, which is a big thing. That they finished in the backfield, and that's what we want to do. We want to be able to create disruption for the opposing offense and send people backwards. And I thought we did a good job of it last week, but this week's going to be a huge challenge. It's going to be a huge challenge for us. And again, back to the reason we need everybody there is just so we can get those TFLs, we can get those sacks, we can throw them off a rhythm, and with crowd noise.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, that stadium pulse you got on EA Sports college football. Let's bring that to real life against Clemson on Saturday. Last question before our first time out. We're at a fraternity, so naturally I got to ask you about rushing, because you got 2 touchdowns from Jamal Haynes. You got 2 touchdowns from Malachi Hosley. Malachi 100 yards, his first career 100-yard rushing day as a Jacket. What went well for you guys in the ground game, and where do you see room for improvement moving forward?
We got a lot of improvement we got to make. There's a lot of things we have to be better at. From the run game, being able to sustain blocks, second level blocking, the right angles in our blocking assignments. Up front, then finishing going forward. All right, we've actually done a good job for two weeks of not having negative plays offensively. All right, we've got to continue to improve on that. But when you work on improvements and you're looking to get better at things, you can't lose sight of the things that you've been doing well or that you've already improved on, and you can't get better at one thing and then crap, the thing from the week before then goes out of mind. And so you got to stack them. You got to stack days, stack weeks, stack games, and hopefully we'll continue to improve.
Well, the best part about starting 2-0 is it gives you a chance to start 3-0. And Georgia Tech come about 3:30 on Saturday. We'll hope to all be celebrating 3-0 and a win over number 12 Clemson. We got to hit our first commercial break here. We are live from Kappa Sigma. Yes, we are live at Kappa Sig here on the campus of Georgia Tech. We'll open the floor up to some questions from you, the students, as we step aside on a brand new edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai on the Georgia Tech Sports Network. Is the best backdrop for college football in America, and we look forward to seeing it packed up and in full white for the whiteout game this Saturday versus Clemson. And I dare say tonight we have the best backdrop for a coaches radio show in the country. We are on campus with the brothers of Kappa Sigma and all their friends from across the student body for another edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai. My name is Andy Demetra. He, of course, is head coach Brent Key. Coach, I did my research before we came. Would you like to know some famous Kappa Sigs throughout history, Brent?
Yes.
Put that headset back on there.
I'd love to hear that.
Okay. Well, we'll start with the famous Georgia Tech Kappa Sig. He is a fellow member of the coaching fraternity. Former Tech head football coach William Alexander was a Kappa Sig.
What year?
1911, I want to say. His picture might be on the wall inside, for all we know. Yeah, but William Alexander was a Kappa Sig. We are about a Haynes King Hail Mary away from the Turner Studios across 10th Street. Atlanta icon Ted Turner was a Kappa Sig.
I did know that.
You did know that.
I'd forgotten it, though.
Okay, well, I'm glad to remind you. Famous actor Robert Redford was a Kappa Sig. However, Brent, he was a Kappa Sig at the University of Colorado. So you did not make Robert Redford a very happy man a couple of Fridays ago out in Boulder. Oops. He was weeping into his Oscars, I think, that night after Haynes King took it into the house. Can I ask
a silly question?
Yes.
Who's Robert Redford?
He's an actor.
Oh.
You can go on his IMDb page. My favorite.
What was he in?
What was he in? A lot of good movies. I'm going to force you to do your work
Come
here.
on. Tell him to name 3, y'all.
Let me give you my favorite Kappa Sig, though. And for those
what about favorite Robert Redford movie?
I will give you that in a little bit. How about that? I'll cut you.
Google.
Somebody will shout it out here. But my favorite Kappa Sig for you. Now, we all know Brent loves his Metallica. He's a metalhead. But you are also a parrot head. And the late, great Jimmy Buffett was a Kappa Sig as well.
No, I knew that one.
Yeah.
I did know that. Where at?
I think University of Southern Mississippi. Is that where he went to undergrad?
So he started out at Auburn.
Okay.
And then went to Southern Miss. I think he was like one semester at Auburn, maybe. Okay.
It's probably not enough to pledge Kappa Sig.
Yeah, then he went to Southern Miss.
If Brent Key is controlling the aux cord at Kappa Sig, what are you starting out with? Some Buffett?
Controlling the what?
Controlling the aux cord. What's the first song you're playing to boom around the house to get the vibes going? Inquiring minds want to know here. If you ever want to just mosey on down after a game to Kappa Sig, after a win.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay. Did it just go by MGK now, I think?
Yes.
Okay.
He was on Fallon the other night.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I think we got some fans of MGK here. You know what I'm also a fan of is taking questions from the Georgia Tech students. So we got a nice lineup of students here who are out joining us here at Kappa Sigma. They have some questions as well for you. I got plenty of them, but why not turn the floor over to our fellow students? So why don't we hand the microphone over to our... There we go. Mike Key. There you get a rare treat to hear the voice of Mike Key here at the Brent Key Coaches Show. Griffin, start us off. We know who you are, but tell everybody your name as well and your question for Brent Key.
First of all, how's it going, Coach? How's it going, AD? What's up, Kappa Sig?
Hey. That's a man who knows how to command a stage.
So for those of y'all who don't know, I'm your drummer for your marching band.
There we go. We're going to hear that percussion rattling between our eardrums all Saturday. I know we'll count on you,
Yeah.
Griffin. What you got for Coach Key?
I'll say, so Coach, are you still in touch with Roman Reigns?
What a great question.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great former player here that is going on and doing good things.
Awesome. Well, hey, also, me and the band, we're going to bring all the fire, and we're going to be electric.
Why did
like
you ask
said.
that?
Why not?
You're asking like Griffin was set up for it. Why do you know why?
Oh, my God.
Why do you tell it for everybody who's listening?
Yeah, he just texted me.
He literally just texted
literally,
Brent,
like,
at
when
the
I showed him
end
my
of the
phone.
first segment.
I got magic.
Yeah, no, you can, like, so now you know the outcome of the football game.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right,
Awesome.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much for the
Appreciate it,
question
Coach.
here. How about that? Yeah, Joanne Hawaii, you're flabbergasted.
I'm blown away.
That was a pure coincidence. I don't think he was eavesdropping on your phone there. But, you literally showed me your phone as we were going to our first commercial break. And, yeah, Joanne Hawaii sent you a text wishing you good luck. So we have some worldwide Yellow Jacket fans getting ready to cheer you and the Jackets on against Clemson. That's fantastic.
That's pretty
yes,
cool.
sir. Give us your name and where you're from and what year you are here at Tech.
Nathan Fincher. I am from Lilburn, Georgia, and I'm a sophomore here studying industrial engineering.
Outstanding. What's your question for Brent?
I would like to ask, what would you consider our most improved position group from last year? It had its ups and downs generally, so.
What had its ups
position
and
group?
What's that?
What'd you say, ups and downs?
The season last year.
Just a position group that may have been up and down last year, but you feel like they're a lot more consistent.
It's tough to tell 2 games in. Goodness.
As you're marinating over that.
Yeah, it's just hard because I live in such a different vacuum of the way I look at it. Linebacker. Kyle Eifert. Does Kyle Eifert wear his neck roll when he's walking around to different classes? Can you guys verify that? Because I think we'd all like to see Kyle wearing his neck roll that you see on the field, going to and from classes. But, yeah, Kyle and E.J. Lightsey came in Spalding, your transfer from Tennessee Tech. He certainly brought the thump this year. Your defensive player of the game versus Gardner Webb was your sophomore defensive end, Montre Bradford. Mm-hmm. He had 2 sacks. He was also your defensive student athlete of the week, architecture major. He's racking them up, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, a 2-for-1 special for a Montre.
He is.
It was a great week for that young man. All right, next question here from the students here at Kappa Sig on this live edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show. Give us your name, where you're from, what you're studying, and your question for Brent.
Hey, I'm Nick. I'm from Marietta, Georgia. I'm a second year, and I'm studying mechanical engineering.
I started out mechanical engineering.
You study mechanical engineering?
I did until I got to differential equations. Diffie Q's kicked me right out of there.
Well, I'm taking that right now, so we'll see how that goes.
So I think what we figured out, Nick, is that you do not want Brent as your tutor.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
My question is, I know that we had the rain delay in the most recent game, and when things don't go your way and it's out of your control, how hard is it to keep your players in that winning mindset and keep your players locked in like that?
That's a fantastic question.
That is a good question. That's something we work. That's something.
You know what, Brent? I've been doing this show with you for 3 years, 10 years total. I have never gotten applauded after a question.
Is this
I'm
your
just
show or mine?
interjecting because,
Well,
Nick,
I mean, now you're going to forget his question.
I'm just going to turn the show over to Nick because he got a round of applause on a question. I'm waiting 10 years and haven't gotten to.
All right, so let's answer your question.
Yeah.
That's something that we start that starts in January. It's we building the mindset of the players to there's that saying everybody says all the time: control what you can control, right? And I look at it as this: only spend time on things that you can affect. Okay, like you don't know what you're going to make on a test, right? But you can study for that test. You can prepare for that test, right? So you have a chance to affect the outcome of that. So. And then once things have happened, we say this all the time, we talk about being where our feet are. Right? Things that have happened in the past, you can't do anything to learn from them. Right? Things that happen in the future, you can't do anything but prepare for them. Right? You really cannot affect either one of those. All you can do is be in the present and be in the moment. So we are very much about that. Be where your feet are. Right? Stay in the moment. A good example of that is last week. And Aaron comes in the game, starts off the game and fumbles on the first drive and throws a pick. And he comes to the sideline, and I'm smiling, like almost laughing, and because I told him before the game, hey, you're going to make mistakes in this game. So he came to the sideline, and of course inside I'm not smiling, like I'm like ripping my gut, and I was laughing. I said, man, I told you you're going to make mistakes. Thank goodness you got them out of the way on the first 2 drives. Let's go play now. And then for the rest of the time, now, it had nothing to do with what I said, but that's just an example of the way we go about it. And, like, advice for y'all, like, there's so much pressure on young people now, right? There's so many external factors that are in y'all's lives, and they're all right here. I mean, they're all in your hand all the time. And you don't know what's real, what's not real. I mean, somebody can put something out in social media, and all of a sudden it's the truth. It's what's, fact, and it's not. So I feel for y'all, with all those pressures. So the more you can eliminate those things to stay in the moment and understand you can't do anything about what's already happened. Like, you can't do anything about what's going to happen, but get ready for it and prepare for it. And that's just a mindset that we live with all the time.
I think these students appreciate the life advice as well. It certainly applies to football, and you guys weathered some early adversity against Gardner-Webb, came out with a 59-12 win. We'll look to do it all over again at noon on Saturday. Tomies leather between your Yellow Jackets and number 12 Clemson. We're hanging out tonight at the Kappa Sig House here on the campus of Georgia Tech for a special edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai. We're going to hit another timeout. Back for more with the head coach, Brent Key, after this on the Georgia Tech Sports Network. Back again in the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai on a gorgeous Thursday night here on campus at Georgia Tech. We normally do this show from our great friends at New Round Brewing on the east side Beltline of Atlanta. You are always cordially invited to join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. at New Round Brewing, but a special edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show tonight, something we did last year. And I think before we even signed off that night, we knew we had to make a tradition of it. We are here hanging out in the back patio of Kappa Sigma Fraternity in honor of Kappa Sig having the highest turnout of any Greek group at home games last year, a home schedule that saw Georgia Tech go undefeated for the first time since 1998. My name is Andy Demetra. He is Brent Key. We got some more questions here from our Georgia Tech students. First, though, Brent, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Your first career start, and you had 46 of them on the offensive line of Georgia Tech. Your first career home start was against a ranked Clemson team, September 29th, 1997. You won that game 23-20. I know you look to emulate that as head coach on Saturday. What are your recollections of that first career home start for you versus Clemson?
I have 0.
None?
0.
None. Was it just such a whirlwind that maybe it just never registered? Was it that long ago?
I remember the first game my freshman year. Started was at Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. I remember beating Clemson up there when they were ranked 4th. They were 9-0. George Godsey throws a pass to Kerry Watkins, the last offensive play of the game. And I still remember it was train right, O's right, 383 sting.
You still remember the play call?
I still remember the play call. Sting is a kind of a double move in the back left corner of the end zone. He catches it, going right, drags his toes in bounds. Then I remember the second time playing. I mean, I don't.
23-20. Got the dub, though. And you remember your first career start, which was against Notre Dame.
What was our record versus them when I was playing?
Pretty good. There you go. I think the man might have the touch. By the way, Georgia Tech 6-1 versus ranked ACC opponents with this man as the head coach. How about we make that 7-1 come Saturday? Not bad. And we know we will have a loud and lively student section urging your team on. I think we got some more questions from our students who are hanging out with us. Grab the microphone, sir. Let everybody know who you are for the audience listening at home, what you're studying here at Georgia Tech, and your question for Brent Key.
My name is Ralston Welch. I'm a 4th-year international affairs major from Atlanta, Georgia. My question for you is, what's your favorite memory as a Tech student? And then also, what advice would you give to a Tech student about to graduate and go into the real world?
Wow, my favorite memory. As a student?
Yeah, as a student. That you can share on air. And that for which the statute of limitations is expired.
It is. Well, even like the places we used to go aren't even around anymore. So, my favorite memory is probably being late to class because I waited at the bottom of the hill for the Stinger to carry me up the hill instead of walking my lazy butt up there. My favorite memory is really a collection of all of them. It's my experience here. Georgia Tech has a unique way, and this kind of answers both questions. And everything that you go through here as a student, it's hard. It's hard. It's not an easy place to go to school. Right? Take advantage of the opportunities and the resources that you have here. Right? When you get out in the real world, right? Look, I mean, you might change jobs 2, 3, 4 times. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a senior and not knowing what you want to do. Right? There's nothing wrong with being a senior or a graduate and not wanting to go into the area of study that you majored in. Right? The fact that you went to Georgia Tech is what the bonus is. Right? This place teaches you how to figure things out and solve problems. Right? I'm talking about real life problems. Right? I'll tell you, I've not used one statistics. I hadn't used that stuff. Okay? But the challenge is of learning how to figure those things out. All right? How to go into a chemistry class or a calculus class and pass it. All right? You figure things out. You solve those issues. Right? And that's what life is. That's what it is. It's all about solving problems and figuring things out. And that's what this gives you the base to do. And look, y'all do not realize how fortunate y'all are to go to school here. This is the absolute best school in the entire country, right? And that is, there's no I know it's hard at times, but you don't go here unless you appreciate that part of it, right? You have to appreciate it as hard as it is at times. Right? Appreciate the fact that everyone here, right? When you graduate, right? You're not waiting to become successful, right? When you graduate from here, you're already successful. You're already successful, and you're going to do great things. You're going to do huge things. And the best advice probably is use the network. Get out of your bubble, meet people, call people up. We're of all the alumni across the world that are Georgia Tech graduates, all right, I'm one, Simmett's one. I mean, when people call and reach out, all right, it's special, right? And we want to give back to people. We want to share our experiences. I actually worked in real estate for a year and a half. I worked in commercial real estate for a year and a half. I was a GA in football. I don't want to be a football coach, right? So I went off and worked in real estate for a year and a half. Had to put dress slacks on, and I hated it. Like 6 weeks in, I'm like, right? But it took me a while to get back into coaching. So, but when I was looking for jobs, I called Georgia Tech alumni. I called 22 of them. And you fast forward 25 years, in the press conference when I was named the head coach. I think 15 of the 22 people I reached out to in 2001. Right, we're at the press conference.
How about that?
It's such a unique network of people, and they all want to help. They want to help. So network, get out of your bubble, meet people. All right, share your experiences, learn from others. You guys are going to be great. You're going to be fine. All right, enjoy the ride while you're here.
That's great advice. Yeah, they wrapped the audience for that one.
Was that the same as your experience?
No, I had a communications degree, so.
Yeah.
If it counts for anything, my mom was a math teacher. My dad also majored in math, so I am what they are known as the statistical outlier in my family, and that's how I could not have gotten into a Georgia Tech.
I cannot spell.
Well, I
cannot spell anything. I mean, I need the red line on my phone.
And that's why I need the calculator on mine.
That's why I can't answer any of your big words.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't given you one yet.
Please.
We still got about 25 minutes, but we got time for one more question before our next commercial break. Yes, sir, go ahead. Give us your name, what you're studying, and your question for Brent.
Sure. My name's Nathan Fritchley. I'm a fifth-year CS major from LaGrange, Georgia, so I stuck around one more semester for a football season.
Did you go to LaGrange or Troop? Or?
I went to LaGrange.
There you go. All right.
Yes, sir. That guy over there went to Troop, and that guy.
Okay.
Anyway.
Keep you two guys separated is what I'm kind of divining on that. Yes.
But, I wanted to ask about your pregame routine and what really gets you in the zone to go out and lead Georgia Tech as head coach.
I don't believe in superstitions or routines unless they work. So, it depends on what time the game is. I try to get the same things. I mean, I get treatment just like as a player. I'm usually I watch a full game one more time of the opponent, their most recent game, just really start to finish from first kickoff to the last play of the game. I just let it run and just watch it. I put together my pregame message to the team, and then really when that point comes to that pregame message in the locker room before we go out, from there on it's 3.5, 4 hours of neutral. Right? You don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low, right? Because everyone looks at you as the head coach, and right, players are going to react as the head coach does. So I truly believe on game day, calm breeds calm. And, that's different than practice, and people probably don't believe that. But, you ask those guys there. I mean, on game day, it's like this. And we work hard at that because when you get into a situation, unfortunately, like we did against Colorado, where the first 3 drives to open the season or turnovers, right, you got to be able to keep everybody level-headed and everybody focused on what the goal is for the game.
There you go. Man, is as intense as they come, but you got to be situational about it before a game.
Was that a question or statement?
Both. You're very calm when I do my pregame interview with you, and I appreciate that.
I am. I get ramped up a little bit, but that's what the week's for. You prepare during the week, and that's what practice is for. When it comes to game day, I've got full confidence in our players, and by the time we get to the game, the preparation that we've put in is going to be good. Is going to be good enough.
That's fantastic, and that preparation will take the field on Saturday at noon. Georgia Tech versus number 12 Clemson. Again, get your tickets now. We got a special announcement as well concerning some available tickets for that game at Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field a little later on in the program. Time to take another timeout. He's Brent Key. I'm Andy Demetra, and this is the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai, live tonight from Kappa Sigma Fraternity here at Georgia Tech, out amongst the students, and we are back after this on the Georgia Tech Sports Network. This year, Georgia Tech set a record with 7,000 student season tickets sold, and in honor of that, we have brought the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai, tonight on campus. We are hanging out here with the brothers of Kappa Sig and their friends from across campus. Can't wait to see you all pack up that lower north and the lower south and make it a loud environment.
Y'all got any scissors inside? Y'all got any scissors?
I'm sure
they grab me a pair of scissors.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Doing a little...
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm sure a lot of people listening are wondering, why is Brent Key asking for scissors?
Come on, cut your sweatshirt up.
Oh, boy, here we go. I still got the tag on here in case I want
that's what I was going to do. I was going to cut it off.
I see what you're doing here. But no, we look forward to another raucous environment off of North Avenue of Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field. Tomies Leather, 12 o'clock. Get there early, be loud, stay to the end, and urge on the Jackets to a win as they take on the number 12 Clemson Tigers. Your team offensive player of the game versus Gardner-Webb was your left tackle, Ethan McKinney. I know you coaches keep your own grading system, as is Pro Football Focus. They have Ethan the number 1 graded offensive tackle nationally in pass blocking. You need to be wired a little differently to thrive as a left tackle. How does Ethan fit that mold for you?
Is he really?
Yeah. That's according to our media notes.
No, Ethan, Ethan is a third-year player. He came in, and the first game of his freshman year, he got thrust into action and ended up starting the next 8 or 9 games that season as a true freshman, was a freshman All-American. And then last year got the injury bug early on and, missed probably the first 6-7 games. The beauty in that, though, is even though he missed time, we were able to redshirt him last year, and now he's a sophomore on the field. So and that's a tough position. I mean, you're on an island. You're going against the best pass rusher on the other team. It's got a huge challenge for him this week. They've got 2 really good defensive ends on both sides, so it'll be a big challenge. I know he'll be up for it.
Show of hands from our students. How many of you are second-generation Georgia Tech students? No, we got several. Okay, I asked that because so was
Ethan. What about third?
We got some thirds. We got about almost a dozen third generations.
Fourth? You can't just raise your hand at everything.
I asked that question because Ethan is a second-generation Jacket. His mom, Joanna, was a member of the basketball team here, and she was actually playing when you were an undergraduate as well.
Joe Kaufman. Joanna Kaufman, she was.
She could throw some elbows out there.
Yeah, she's really
and
good.
Alexander.
And his grandfather was an NBA player, and then got into front office work, coaching in front office, and just very athletic family. I mean, we started recruiting Ethan, I think when he was in 9th grade, and then he's turned into a really good player for us.
We got some more questions from our students. You're welcome to line up here and ask them for Brent Key. In the meantime, not only is Ethan McKinney the top graded offensive tackle in pass protection according to Pro Football Focus right now, but I got to ask you about the mullet. He's kind of growing that out. Pretty good look, I'd say.
Is he really?
It's a baby mullet, yeah.
I did not know that.
Because it's obscured by the helmet. He's got some ways to go
I
with
don't
it.
look at my players' hair, sorry.
You don't?
Well, Josh, I mean...
Are you a little jealous?
No, I shave my head.
I know, I'm just kidding. All right, we got another question.
I haven't had hair since I was y'all's age.
All right, next question. Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach. How's it going? I'm Ryan Thomas. Great to finally meet you, man. fourth year, concentration in finance. I just had to ask about the long snapper position with the football team. How much has it improved since last year, right?
Well, Ronnie.
Showing Ronnie a picture on your phone here as he's asking the question.
It's not just that position, and Henry's probably standing somewhere behind me, like with like a slingshot or something, shoot it at me. But I think all of our specialists have really taken a huge leap forward and huge step forward. And as I told you, what did I tell you after practice the other day? No, I didn't. No, don't. Whatever you say, I didn't say that.
In their ed class.
No, the special teams are going to be huge in this game. I mean, it's going to be a big, big game for special teams. It's going to be a field position game. It's going to be a one-score game, in my opinion. So we have really good specialists. The long snappers are phenomenal.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's a good point.
I mean, you'd have sat there for another 30 minutes for me to say that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would have.
Why don't you tell everybody who Ronnie is here?
Long snapper.
Long snapper Ronnie Thomas. Give it up for him there.
I can still snap better than you, Ronnie.
Wow. Replacing Henry Freer,
Ronnie,
who might have been the most sui generis long snapper in the country, because Henry, he was a starting long snapper for 2 years here at Georgia Tech, and he did that while he was in the PhD program in chemical and biomolecular engineering. Might have been the only active football student athlete in the entire country in college football to be a member of the football team while also currently pursuing his PhD. So yes, they breed him a little different here around Georgia Tech.
Back to Ronnie. Current, not in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be where your feet are.
Absolutely. No, right. Ronnie's got to keep those snaps accurate. As you know, long snappers.
I'm still better.
When was the last time you were doing long snapping? Because you were a guard.
Probably yesterday.
Really? It's like shooting hoops in the driveway. You just want to rip some spirals there on long snaps? Make sure you still got it?
I don't play basketball, so no, it's not the same.
Okay. Fair enough. You know, one upside of the game that you had versus Gardner-Webb, and I know you had sort of set this as a goal coming in, was you wanted to give playing time to as many guys as possible, so that they can get those real game reps that they can bank and that'll be beneficial for them moving forward. So many young guys, freshmen, and some of the guys who've been working so hard in practice during the week, finally getting their chance at playing time. How gratifying was that for you to see them out there? Because they were playing independent of the scoreboard. You couldn't have told any of those guys that those weren't the most important snaps of the game for them.
Well, that's the big thing we talk about is, you know, it's every opponent's a faceless opponent. There's no scoreboard. There's no names on their jerseys, and everything we do is it's about us. It's us versus us. You know, it's us versus the distractions that we have. But it was really good to see those young guys out there get an opportunity to play and compete. Like I said earlier, you know, when those guys get out there and play, it makes the next week practice, you know, even better. So it starts to elevate practice more. So it's a cyclical thing that happens. And I looked out in the third quarter at one point, and it was 8 or 9 freshmen on defense. I think it was towards the end of the third quarter. So that's encouraging. It's really good to see. It's good for the development of the team, and it's good for the future.
Your special teams player of the game was your redshirt sophomore defensive back Will Kiker, who had that defensive 2-point conversion wiped out by an inadvertent whistle, but his contributions were certainly noted within the program. And Will is part of a very special club in the Georgia Tech locker room, because there are only 3 players on your team currently who are on all of your core 4 special teams.
See, you're wrong. There's 4 now.
There's 4 now. Okay, well, there was 3 at the beginning of the week. Who's the 4th? Miles?
Oh, y'all come here. Who's the 4th?
Miles Forstall.
Tell everybody.
Miles
there you
Forstall.
go, Miles Forstall.
So the core 4 special teams
now we got
being
4.
Yeah. Kickoff, kick return defense, punt team, punt return defense, and those 4 players all have a special designation on the back of their helmet. Georgia Tech is not a program that historically has done helmet decals, but these guys have certainly earned it. Tell everybody about the decals that you guys have created to laud the special teamers and what that represents at Georgia Tech.
So let me get that one. So we call them the hammer. If they start on 4 special teams, they're a hammer. And really it derives back from a pretty cool thing, the way it came about. One of our special teams coaches, Brendan Farrell, who joined us this year, and he's like an encyclopedia of football, and he researched this and found out. So I got a question for y'all. Right, and this stems to what we're talking about. Right, the name we have for our specialist, right, it's a former name of Georgia Tech football team, athletics. Right, we weren't always the Yellow Jackets. Right, so previously, what was the name that we use for our specialist?
You, sir, in the I would go right you in the front here.
No, he raised his first.
Okay,
He doesn't know it though. He doesn't know it.
Got a little shy.
Right.
Yes, you, sir.
Shut up. Are you serious?
He said blacksmiths. Give that man some merchandise. Yes, before the Yellow Jackets, Georgia Tech was known as the Golden Tornadoes. Before that, beginning in 1900, they were known as the Blacksmiths in a nod to a foundry that the campus actually operated to teach Georgia Tech students blacksmithing and making metals. And so you said Brendan Farrell, who's one of your senior analysts for special teams, he came up with the idea of designating your special teams players the Blacksmiths, and the guys who are on, what is it, more than two special teams units?
If they're on all, if there's 4 teams that they start on, being punt, return, kickoff, return, and there's more than that. But if they're a starter on those 4 teams, right, they get the designation of being a hammer.
They're the hammer, sledgehammer, of course, and then blacksmiths as well. You get a decal as well for being on a certain number of special teams units.
Yeah,
so that's pretty
two
cool.
More with that, and then 4 with the
hammer.
Ow! Wow, these scissors.
Oh, they got the job done. You giving the Brent Key special here? Cutting off the sleeves? I like that. I like that. You're going to look sharp there in the stands on game day. I like that. I know you guys will as well. Hey, a little behind schedule. Got to hit our final timeout here. We're going to wrap up this edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai, live from Kappa Sigma here at Georgia Tech. In just a moment, stick with us on the Georgia Tech Sports Network. He's Brent Key. I'm Andy Demetra, winding down this edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by a Hyundai. Make sure you clear that schedule on Saturday. High noon is when we get things rolling at Bobby Dodd Stadium, Hyundai Field. Your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets versus the number 12 Clemson Tigers. These teams had met for 41 consecutive years before they were taken off the schedule last year, and the Tigers are coming to town. We know you will be packed into Bobby Dodd Stadium, Hyundai Field. It is a whiteout game. So whatever you got to do between now and noon on Saturday, Brent, get that wash going, get the all-whites going. Don't mix in any colors, and make sure you're wearing your crispiest white outfit for noon Tommy's leather on Saturday.
As coaches, you can't wear the same as the team, though, because you blend in on the sideline.
Yeah. You got your outfit picked out? I'm sure that's really like right at the top of what you like to do every week.
I walk in my closet, and whatever's there, I put it on.
Sounds good. It's efficient. It's more time that you can devote to studying film.
Same as practice.
You like to be consistent.
Well,
there's something to be said about it.
There's a couple reasons, but the whole reason is that practice should be elevated to the point that that we practice the same as a game. You're always trying to shrink that gap in between the two. So that's just one of the reasons that wear the same thing, so I appear the same and practice the same as games.
Well, we cannot thank enough the brothers of Kappa Sigma fraternity and all of you Georgia Tech students who came from all parts of campus to join us for this past hour. Make sure to stick around for the good word with Justin Hanover and Chris Mooneyham in just a moment. But Brent, we got just a little more than a minute left in the program. Your keys to a victory on Saturday, and what final message do you have from the students? In the meantime, I've got a message that more than 10,000 Georgia Tech students have already claimed tickets. However, thanks to generous Georgia Tech donors, we have another 500 tickets available to students. They'll become available tomorrow. Check your email soon and details on how to claim them. Brent, what last thing do you want to say to the Tech students ahead of Saturday?
Get there early, be loud, wear white, and let's give them hell.
Check, check, and check. You got them fired up, and we know that we will feel that energy on Saturday at noon. That wraps up this edition of the Brent Key Coaches Show. Brent, this was a lot of fun. Can't wait to do it all again next week, but also next year on campus. He's Brent Key. I'm Andy Demetra. Stick around for the good word, and thanks so much for listening to the Brent Key Coaches Show, driven by Hyundai on the Georgia Tech Sports Network.
Go Jackets. And to hell with Georgia.